Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're breaking down the video of Du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. It's a rematch. First fight was close and controversial, and they're running it back in Australia. Not the best card, but looks like there will be some decent knockouts on this card. There's some new fighters here from Dana White Contender Series as well, and some fighters from the Asia region as well be on this card. So first up on the prelim here, we got Hyun Park versus Tumendemberel. Sorry if I couldn't pronounce it the best, but yeah. Niamjarago Tumendemberel. This is a very hard one to pronounce, but yeah. Hyun Park here is on a win streak here. He's had a lot of knockouts. He's got some submissions on his record, and his last win was against Shannon Ross with a liver shot to ground strikes. As you know, Shannon Ross, he's coming from the Gold Coast region here in Australia. He was doing decent, obviously on Eternal MMA, but yeah, didn't do well on the UFC region. UFC obviously, but it is what it is. Hyun Park, he's a very aggressive striker. He will he will be pressure strike and throw a lot of nice combinations to the body and the head. Defensively, he does get tagged a fair bit as well himself, and he does have some decent ground game as well if he does want to get this fight to the ground. So he does mix up some grappling as well. And going against Jago to Tumendemberel. His last fight there, he's coming off a loss against Carlos Hernandez. I did pick Carlos Hernandez to beat him, but Carlos Hernandez did really well, mixing up his striking and getting the takedowns in. So obviously we seen Tumendemberel's takedown defense wasn't that great. He didn't look good. He could constantly get taken down in that fight, and he was controlled a fair bit too on the ground. So yeah, his takedown defense not really looking good. Going against someone like Hyun Park, I think he will copy that blueprint of Carlos Hernandez and mix up his striking, pressure strike, and mix some takedowns as well. And I think he will get the win here against Yamdro. Look, Tumendemberel is a decent striker. He's tall and but defensively he does get tagged a fair bit too. We've seen that in a lot of his fights too. So as much as he was doing good on the road to UFC fights, he was getting tagged defensively. He's not very good. Takes a lot of damage in his fight. So and also the takedown defense was lacking there in the last fight. So 86%. Park, Tumendemberel 14%. I'm gonna go with Hyun Park too on this one. Oh, that wasn't a hard one to pronounce. Next up, we've got Kevin Jousset versus Jousset versus Jonathan Micallef. This is a bit of a step down opponent with Kevin Jousset versus with going against Jonathan Micallef. Like Micallef looks good, yes, coming off a win. He did look good on the X region there in the Australian region. But it's a big step up in competition going against Kevin Jousset with this matchup. Kevin Jousset is coming off a loss there against Brian Battle in France, and as you know, he's coming out of city kickboxing as well, so he's throwing a lot of stays at range, throws a lot of leg kicks, pumps that jab out a fair bit. But Brian Battle showed that you can close the distance and you can overwhelm Jousset with a lot of the striking. And yeah, get him out of there. So yeah, it did really well to expose that game of Kevin Jousset's. But yeah, I think with this matchup here as well, like Kevin Jousset's good at his grappling as well. And with Jonathan Micallef, he doesn't really strike much. He'd be more pressuring, throwing some leg kicks, some body kicks, some high kicks. Yeah, kind of like really aggressive coming in with combinations, but he does get tagged up a fair bit from what I've seen in his regional fights here in Australia. And he'll be trying to get the fight to the ground. He'd be really pushing to get the fight to the ground, use grappling and wrestling. But I just think this is way too much of a step up right now. And I think Kevin Jousset will be fine. Like he won't let, I don't think he will let Jonathan overwhelm him in this fight. So but we'll see. You never know. So we'll see how good Jonathan really is coming up against Kevin Jousset in the UFC. So Yeah, Micallef 90%, 81% Jousset. I just feel like this is a massive mismatch, to be honest. Because if he takes a lot of damage, Jonathan as well in this matchup, that's kind of like gonna be a big setback for him too. So I think UFC shouldn't be really matching him up with Kevin here. I think should build him up slowly. But yeah, Kevin Jousset's a pick here. Next up we've got Cody Steele versus Rongzhu. With this matchup here, Cody Steele's coming off a lot of knockouts here, so coming off a win of the Contender Series there. What I've seen with Cody Steele, he's a very aggressive striker himself. He will throw a lot in the win, a lot against his opponents. He'll mix up body shots and a lot of nice combinations. But he gets way too caught up in exchanges as well. From what I've seen, he was getting tagged up a bit there, but yeah, like obviously he's working getting the opponents out of there, but he gets caught in the exchanges too defensively. So I don't really like that where he gets tagged up a bit as well, as much as he's good offensively. Cody Steele going against like someone like Rongzhu. He's a bit of a tall fighter than Cody Steele. Both say it's 5'9", but from what I've seen on footage, it looks like Rongzhu's a little bit taller and Cody looks pretty short. But it might be wrong. They're saying it's the same height, but yeah, from footage it just seems like Rongzhu's taller. So Rongzhu, he does have his chin up high, and I think he's going to get knocked out. Like, I think Cody Steele will get one on the butt and then knock him out. Rongzhu, as much as he's decent offensively, like, he's pretty flat-footed too, so he doesn't have the best footwork, and he'll throw some leg kicks and use a lot of jabs and straight shots. But defensively, he gets tagged up a fair bit too, so he's coming off the loss there. It was a doctor stoppage, TKO by Chris Padilla. He was getting smashed in that matchup there, Rongzhu, so I'm going to pick Cody Steele here unless Rongzhu does cause an upset and catches Cody Steele in exchanges and knocks him out, but probably won't happen. I think Rongzhu is going to get knocked out in this fight. Steele there, 75%, 87% going, community going with Steele in this matchup, so 13 with Rongzhu there. So my pick is Cody Steele as well in this matchup. Next up, we've got Cong Wang versus Bruna Brasil. With this matchup here, Cong Wang, she was on a nice win streak outside the UFC. Knocked out Victoria Leonardo, but Victoria Leonardo was ass. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a nice knockout by Cong Wang, but Victoria Leonardo, she doesn't belong in the UFC. She was honestly a sacrificial lamb in that matchup there. So, and coming off a loss against Gabriel Fernandez, I picked Cong Wang to beat her. But yeah, she was doing decent in the first round. She was with the striking, staying at range and chopping the legs and mixing up some body shots, straight shots, jabs to the body, and just keeping it the two combinations at a time. And but there at the second round got caught up in exchange there, got tagged, and then yeah, she was hurt from that exchange, and then got counted, and then yeah. Gabriel Fernandez just shut the lot, pretty much just dropped her and then took her to the ground and submitted her. So if she gets caught up in an exchange like that and the chin's not there, it's a bit of a worry, to be honest. So but the game plan of her as Cong Wang is good, but yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one there with the chin with that exchange. So going against someone like Bruna Brasil, she will more so like she's coming up a win there against Malik Man, kind of like made it look like shit. So yeah, she'll stay in the back full circle, chop the legs and the body, and use a jab real well. So she will just be looking for counters as well. So she won't be really trying to be aggressive with her striking, constantly circling, and use her grappling as well and get the takedown. So yeah, it's a bit of a hard pick, this one, because Cong Wang obviously, like, you know, with Bruna getting a nice clean shot on her and the chin just was gone after that. So it's a bit of a hard one with her. So I am going to pick Cong Wang in this one by 67%, but I could also see Bruna Brasil kind of exposing her if she does stay on the outside, and with her game plan is obviously hit and not get hit. So yeah, I could see Bruna win this one as well, but yeah, it's a bit of a low confidence pick here with going with Cong Wang. But yeah, I could see a little upset here with Brazil. 33% Brazil, 67% with Wang here. So Cong Wang's a pick, low confidence one on that one. Next up, we've got Cody Haddon versus Aleksandre Topuria. Look, with that Cody Haddon, there was reports that he pulled out with his fight and got replaced, but it's not really showing up here on UFC topology. So I'm just gonna go down and break this fight down. Um, yeah, I'm not too like big on it, to be honest. I'm not gonna go find the replacement, like fuck. But yeah, anyways, Cody Haddon here. Coming up a win there against Dayan Ageta. He's very good on throwing combinations to the body edge, so his boxing's really clean. Defensively, he gets tagged a bit too in exchanges I've seen, and also he does get taken down, but does well to get back on his feet and uses his grappling very nicely as well. So he's very good there, well rounded, but yeah, defensively needs to get cleaned up a little bit on the striking there as well. Aleksandre Topuria, he's very similar to his brother Ilya. You'll see like when he comes in close distance, like a stalking way, and look for the counters as well. And he's very good with mixing up his striking as well, as much as Ilya is. And he's more of his wins has been like taking the opponents down after he's throwing combinations and use a lot of ground and pound. So yeah, he's definitely good. He's definitely going to be yeah, someone to look out for coming up on the rankings here. So yeah, definitely got to look out for. As much as it's good, I just don't know like how well it's going to be in the UFC. This is the first UFC fight while Cody had a couple of fights. So I'm just not too sure I'm picking Aleksandre Topuria on this one because he hasn't had a UFC fight. But I'm not saying he's going to lose. I'm just saying I'm just not too confident on how easy it will be for him to take down Cody Haddon. But yeah, anyways, Cody's not even in this fight. It was replaced by somebody else. I don't even know. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Cody Haddon in this one, but Topuria, yeah, we'll probably get the win. And fighting the other guy, I don't know who it is or whatnot. But yeah, anyways, this one was get skipped out. So Cody Haddon's picked there, but yeah. Basically, I'll probably make a video on that once Topology updates this and puts a replacement in. So I might just edit it and then put the pick and going, all right, I'm going for this fighter on this matchup. So I'll do that once this got updated. Next up, we've got Jack Jenkins versus Gabriel Santos. Jack Jenkins here, he's another guy who's really aggressive striking, pops out jabs and throws some combinations. He gets fucking hit a fair bit to himself. I'm a bit skeptical. As much as Jack Jenkins is good in striking and he's very good on targeting the leg, throwing a lot of leg kicks and damaging a lot of calves. He's known for that. My problem with Jack Jenkins is he gets taken down a lot. Like it was shown against that Chepe fight. Even the Herbert Burns is not even that fucking good, and he got taken down by him as well. Like that just shows the takedown defense needs to be a little bit cleaned up there with Jack Jenkins. The striking wise, he's good. Going against someone like Gabriel Santos, his striking's okay. He's more of a guy that targets the low kicks, look for counters as well, and he's good on he's very good on getting the takedowns as well. So he will wait for his opponents to overcommit and get the takedown. So he did that in his last fight against Yizha as well. But Jack Jenkins is on another level against compared to Yizha. So Gabriel did lose against David Anama, knocked out, and Lemire Murphy split. So Lemire Murphy was split decisions, not too bad. So this is a bit of a hard pick. I'm gonna pick Jack Jenkins on this one because I feel like his striking is gonna be a lot better. I feel like he will close the distance and counter Gabriel well. But Gabriel, like I said, when he is gonna get the takedowns and he's good at chopping the legs as well as much as Jack Jenkins. So Jack Jenkins is a pick here. Next up, we've got Tom Nolan versus Viacheslav Borshchev. With this matchup here, Tom Nolan, coming off a win there against Alex Reyes. As much as it was a unanimous win, I just feel like I don't know. I think I had high expectations of that fight because Alex Reyes was getting knocked out by every dog in the cat in the UFC. So yeah, I was just like, oh yeah, Tom Nolan will fucking get him out of there. Alex Reyes is a can, but Alex Reyes did really well. He stepped it up and he showed that, he's no pushover. So he didn't get knocked out and he showed some of his grappling and really well on defensively did well on his striking, to be honest, as much as he lost. So Tom Nolan here, he's a guy that very tall, lanky, and uses a lot of leg kicks and body kicks, and uses a lot of counters as well. But my issue with Tom Nolan is like fucking his chin straight up in the air, and he got countered by Nicholas Mota and got knocked out by a little short dude compared to him. But yeah, like that's my issue with Tom Nolan here is like the chin straight up in the air, and he's very tall as well. So um he's training here as well, like in my local here in Brisbane. So going against Borshchev here. Borshchev, as much as he had some losses, draws, his record's all over the place, and he had a win against James Lontop. Borshchev was no pushover. He's very good in his striking and mixing up combinations. Yes, he gets hit defensively, but he's a really good test. And man, if Tom Nolan's gonna get knocked out by another fighter with his chin up in the air, I feel like Borshchev with his right hand will connect on Nolan's chin and knock him out. So Tom Nolan has the right strategy and whatnot, but he leaves a lot of openings with his chin up in the air when he does get counters. So I feel like Borshchev is going to do it too, and I feel like that's why the community is seeing it as looking at it as well. So I'm going to pick Borshchev here, 54%, 46 for Nolan. But yeah, I think Borshchev is going to get Tom Nolan out of there. I don't think Tom Nolan is good as what he is. Next up, Quillan Salkilld versus an Anshul Jubilee. Now this matchup here, Quillan is coming out of Contender Series as well himself, coming off a decision win there against Young. He's another guy who's very tall as well. He is very good at targeting the body and the legs and looking for counters. He stays on the more of the back foot. Very grapple heavy, wrestle heavy, so he'll be looking to get the fight on the ground. But yeah, defensively, like I said, I just don't like tall fighters with their chins up and chin in the air. Anshul Jubilee here is coming off a loss. He got TKO'd by Mike Breeden. Look, he did well with some exchanges, but his striking is very simple 1-2s, like pops a jab out with a right straight. Defensively gets tagged up himself a lot, but yeah, even in that fight, the Jekka Saragi, he'll be looking to wrestle a lot. I feel like his wrestling is a lot better than his striking. So, but yeah, with this matchup here, I feel like yeah, he's gonna struggle to close distance and win the exchanges. But yeah, I just feel like is gonna be too much for Anshul Jubilee here. So yeah, Salkild's gonna be the pick here, 90%, 10% Jubilee. I just don't think Jubilee is it, to be honest. So Quillan's a pick there. Next up, we've got main card, Jake Matthews versus Francisco Prado, sorry. With Jake Matthews, he is a veteran in the sport. He's been around for a bit. Had a win against Phil Rowe. Some people said Phil Rowe wins. Some people said Jake Matthews wins. So more of guys stays on the range, pops the legs, and he uses a jab a fair bit and uses the right straight a lot. So there's some combinations here and there, but not very great. Not much often, to be honest. In his earlier fights, he used to wrestle a lot. But yeah, he's more of a striker now, to be honest. But not the most exciting fighter, to be honest. But yeah, he does get some knockouts here and there in his earlier fights. But yeah, at the moment he's on the end of his career. So he's been around. He's only 30 years old, but he's been around for a fair bit. So he's not too bad on the ground there with his grappling as well. But this one's gonna be more probably with a striking matchup. Francisco Prado, his record's all over the place himself. Like he lost to Daniel Zilba, had a win against Ottoman. Ottoman fights once in a blue moon. Lost to Jay McLarkey. He's another guy that will come in, throw combinations, but he fucking gets tagged up defensively a lot. Takes a lot of damage in his fights. Offensively decent, but defensively takes a lot of damage in his fights. Doesn't really mix up too much takedowns as well. So I think Jake Matthews is gonna look for counters and constantly work on the outside and chop the leg of Prado as well. So Matthews is pick here, 80%, 20% Prado. So just that Prado it's just defensively not that great. Next up, we've got Jimmy Crute coming back, facing off with Rodolfo Bellato. Oh yes, we better break the fight down. Anyways, with Jimmy Crute, his last fight was 1 year and 6 months ago. Yeah, I don't know where Jimmy Crute's at. He once was looking good and he's coming up in his career. He was knocking everyone out. He was very good in getting in takedowns and dominating with his wrestling. But yeah, just ran into Anthony Smith there. And yeah, got his leg chewed up and then knocked out by Jamal Hill. Then got a draw over Alonzo Menefield. And yeah, got a guillotine choke over. Got choked out, sorry, against Alonzo Menefield. So he's probably questioned himself, what am I supposed to do? Why am I losing these fights? So kind of showed that, you know, he's a good fighter, but he's not top 15 caliber, to be honest. So it was decent with striking and using takedowns, and yeah, just hit top 15 and just wasn't doing well. So now he's having a bit of a comeback fight. I thought he was retired, but it doesn't look like it. And going against someone like Rodolfo Bellato. Bellato's only lost to Vito Petrino in the Contender Series. Racked up a couple of wins in the LFA, came back to the Contender Series again, and yeah, finished off Ahul Pretoria. Ahul Pretoria, I don't think he's even in the UFC anymore. I think he got cut. He's not that great himself. So with Rodolfo Bellato, he was doing well with that fight there. Like he throws some combinations and mix up with his grappling himself and get some takedowns, but I think he did get dropped in that last fight there as well. He did take some damage against Ahul Pretoria, and Pretoria's not that fucking good. Pretoria's only notable win is against Shogun Rua Smith, and yeah, people hated Ahul Pretoria with that fight there. So Rodolfo Bellato is a pick here because I just don't know what Jimmy Crute we're getting. 90% we're going Jimmy Crute and Bellato 81%. I just think that Jimmy Crute's is not in the game anymore, so which is understandable. Next up on the main card here, we've got Talison Teixeira versus Justin Tafa. With this matchup here, it's the strikers a matchup. Talison Teixeira is coming off Contender Series win. Got the knockout there, so he's a guy that likes to brawl a lot. In that last fight there, he was very good pumping the jab out, and yeah, he's got a killer right hand himself. So just a nice heavyweight slugfest this fight. Teixeira very tall as well, but in that last fight, when I noticed that with Arthur Lopez when he was close at distance and he was throwing combinations, Teixeira was taking a lot of punches. Like defensively, he's not that great when the fighter gets on in the inside. Defense wasn't that great, but his chin held up in that fight and he got the knockout. So with Justin Tafa here coming off a loss against Carl Williams, because Carl Williams constantly takes his fighters down in 9 points fights. He had a win over Austin Lane, Parker Porter. So yeah, strikers matchup is who's just going to come down, who's going to be the better striker and whose chin's going to go first. So 22% going Tafa and 78% going Teixeira. And Teixeira hasn't lost, and I can understand why people are going with Teixeira, but I feel like Tafa's going to shut the lights off here. But we've seen Tafa get knocked out too. Like I remember seeing Tafa get knocked out. I think it was his first UFC fight. Jorgen Castro or something like that, the Brazilian fighter. So I went to watch him, then he fucking got flatlined. So he's able to get knocked out, and he might get knocked out again. I don't know. I just don't know. I was going to go Justin Tafa with his fight, but I'll be surprised if he gets knocked out. Because obviously Talison hasn't got finished it. He hasn't lost. So, but Justin Tafa was in the same boat too when he went into the UFC, I'm pretty sure. And they had like one loss on him at the time. So low confidence pick with Tafa. A little bit biasy there, which is understandable. I don't really care. Next up, we've got Weili Zhang versus Tatiana Suarez. With this matchup here, Zhang there, she's had a loss against Rose and then just went on a nice little winning streak there. I had one against Rowena, Carla, Sparza, Amanda Lemos, and Hyun. So yeah, she's actually getting up there with age. Holy shit, 36, almost 36. Okay. Yeah, so she's a champion at the moment with division. Yeah, she mixed up more of her wrestling with her striking now and very much more of a complete fighter. started using her wrestling a lot more. Even in the last couple of fights, you see her using her wrestling more, taking down opponents and not really exchanging too much with them. So very well-rounded fighter there. I'm going against someone like Tatiana Suarez. Tatiana Suarez has had a lot of fucking injuries too. And her last fight was almost 2 years ago. So a year and a half ago against Jessica Andrade. She didn't really get caught up with the striking there. She's more of a fighter, just stay in range. Offensively, striking didn't look the best, to be honest, but you know, she was fighting someone that's flat-footed like Jessica Andrade, deer in the headlights. As much as Jessica Andrade is good with her striking, she's not very good with her footwork either. So Tatiana Suarez showed that, you know, she can stand there, strike. She uses some jabs, throw some leg kicks here and there, but offensively, there wasn't really too much output with the striking. You'll be waiting for an opponent to overcommit with the striking and get the takedown. So, and use a lot of ground control and some ground and pounds and try to set up some missions. So, with this fight here, it's going to be one of those fights where I think Weili Zhang will have the better striking in this matchup and get on the inside. But I can also see Tatiana Suarez trying to get her down on the ground. But I just don't know if she will get the takedowns on Weili Zhang. And how much can she control Weili Zhang on the ground there and get the ground and pound. We could see an upset here. We could see a new champion, but we may not. So it's a bit of a 50-50 because with Tatiana having so many injuries and shit. It's a bit of a hard one, to be honest. So Suarez there 34%, Zhang 66%. So yeah, it's just hard. Like, even though if Tatiana does win, I just don't think she's gonna have a big reign with all the injuries she's getting at the moment. There's a lot of shit going on in her life as well. So yeah, understandable. So Weili Zhang's a pick here. But I could also see an upset in this fight. Anyways, next up, main event, Dricus Du Plessis versus Strickland. Another rematch. Yeah, Du Plessis on a nice little win streak. And the way Izzy and Rob said in the podcast, he's the best shittest fighter, which is crazy. Du Plessis, like Izzy, I feel like Izzy banked some rounds there against some Du Plessis last fight. I feel like Izzy was winning exchanges, but yeah, Du Plessis managed to get the takedown to submit him from nowhere and gave Izzy his first submission loss. So insane. Look, based on the first fight here against Strickland, like Strickland obviously uses a lot of jabs and just a lot of fucking jabs. Just a lot of jabs, straight right. Deep kick to the body, and that's about it. That is about it. So he says he's gonna go to war, but he does all that. Yeah, with this fight here, let's just say Du Plessis was doing well, chopping in the legs of Strickland and doing well on switch dancing a lot, and giving different looks and different angles to Sean Strickland, and was using his jab well on Sean Strickland. So I feel like Du Plessis was loading up a lot of his shots compared to Sean Strickland. And the takedowns was working too, so he was taking down Sean Strickland a fair bit. Did he hold him there? No, he didn't. He didn't hold him there. Sean Strickland did well to get up, so takedowns were key in the first fight. It was a close fight, and Sean Strickland I feel like with Sean Strickland, where he went wrong was with the deep kicks to the body. He was doing well in the earlier rounds, keeping Du Plessis at bay in range, and by using the deep kicks to the body, but he completely abandoned that, and just kept it a striking, like just a boxing matchup, and he wasn't using any leg kicks or anything, like wasn't doing anything different. Very, very straightforward. So I think he needs to go back to the body there again, use the T kicks to the body, keeping him at Du Plessis at bay, and making it harder for Du Plessis to set off his shots. But up to Strickland at the end of the day what the fuck he wants to do, right? So yeah, it's not it's gonna be the same shit as the first fight. So I think Du Plessis is gonna double up on the takedowns here, and he's gonna use more leg kicks. So I feel like Du Plessis is gonna double up on leg kicks, use more takedowns, and get another decision win. Not the best fights, and yeah, Strickland 22%, Du Plessis 78%. I feel like Du Plessis is gonna get the win too again. Another decision win, so probably not gonna be the best fight. Yeah, thank you UFC for giving us a shit card in Australia. Gave us 2 decent fights on the main card, and the rest of it is absolutely fucking dog shit. So yeah, not the best fight. I'm glad I didn't get tickets to this card and go to Sydney, because I knew something like this was gonna happen. Yeah, fuck you, UFC. Saudi's getting all the big fights. You can see Adesanya versus Imov. They stacked that card up nicely and gave all the dog shit fights to us. And I understand it's all Australian talent on here, but again, it's the dog shit pay-per-view. It's a pay-per-view card at the end of the day. It's fight night, fair enough, but again, it's the pay-per-view. Anyways, guys, hit the like, subscribe button, and we'll be back with Cannonier versus Robocop. That's right, Gregory Rodriguez. Yeah, but anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we're pumping out more content weekly. So, yeah, like I said, put your thoughts in comments down how you think the fights are gonna play out. You guys will obviously always gonna have different opinions, which is all good. Like, it doesn't matter. Everyone's gonna have a different opinion on the fights. Everyone's gonna have different, better knowledge than me as well. So, yeah, hit the comments, and let me know how the fights goes. But yeah, so anyways, guys, those are the picks. We'll be back with the other card. So yeah, take care, guys.